Hello everybody and welcome into the RNGIDP channel. Got a little different situation for you tonight. We are going to do the game day recap. This is just going to be a hangout, chill session. I'll show you some things I'm working on, some stats, I don't know. This basically is just hanging out tonight. So if you got questions about the league that I'm doing, questions about what we're doing, some of the stats, I can look that up for you and show you on that big screen right over there. And so this should be a little chill, a little fun, just hanging out tonight really. I just wanted to I knew I wasn't going to be able to get a game in, so maybe I'll take you through some of the process of how I get set up for a new game day. I've got my game day 16 probables sheet. This is what I was working off of from last week. And so what I'll do is I'll take the injuries and I'll add them to game day 17, and then I'll go through the individual scorecards, and if any injuries happened in game day 16, I'll add those on there as well. So let me get my pen out. This is a little unorganized tonight, but we're just hanging out. So hopefully this is something fun, something different, something that you guys can appreciate. Jerry Ball checking in saying, hello, RNGIDP. Craig, how was St. Patrick's Day? My friend, well, it was good. I didn't really do a whole lot. We went out to breakfast. We went out to lunch. We were busy doing all that kind of social stuff, but nothing too fancy. I have young kids, so taking them. We went to the parade down in downtown Denver a couple years ago, and it's the same parade since when I was a kid. The same floats, the same everything. So I don't know. I just wasn't into it this year, so we wore our green. We hung out at home. We played some board games as a family, and that's about it. Hopefully yours was pretty good, Jerry. Did you guys do anything? Did you have some fun for St. Patrick's Day? Well, while we're chatting, I'm going to put up on the big screen there, I'm going to put the standings from after game day 16. So you can check that out while I write down injuries and go through all that. The standings, hopefully you can see that all right. Maybe I should make it bigger. Jerry, can you tell me if you see that all right? Jerry says it was very good. You missed last night's game. Was next door having corned beef and cabbage. I didn't expect many people to check in. I know that St. Patrick's Day is usually a time where people are hanging out and doing their own thing, so I wasn't worried about it. Jerry, I know you're a good friend of the channel, and hopefully you saw the highlights of game day 16, the last game we played, and home brewed beer too. Oh yeah. You know what? Actually, speaking of beer, and what kind of beer was it, Jerry? My brother-in-law, he lives out in Fruita, Colorado, which is near Grand Junction. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's across the mountain range, the Rocky Mountains, on the other side of the state. It takes about 4.5 hours to get there. So I was out there probably 6 months ago, just visiting. My family and I, we went out there for a little, and there was a little brewery right on Main Street, and they had this really good ESB, and I was into it. I liked it a lot. I brought a bomber of it home and drank it. It was delicious. So I was thinking about that the other day, that beer. I was like, man, I'd like to get my hands on some of that again. And so I wrote my brother-in-law. I said, hey, let's do a beer exchange. I'll get you some beer from over here and get me a growler or two of that ESB. And next time your girlfriend or you or they make the trip across the hills, we'll do a beer exchange, a beer run. So that happened on Saturday. That's why we went out to breakfast. Was to meet his girlfriend, and we had breakfast with her, and we did the beer swap in the parking lot. And so I got my growler of ESB, and been drinking on that this weekend. It's delicious, as good as I had imagined it. And he got some cool stuff too, so he's pretty happy with it. We may have to make this thing a regular occurrence, where we I feel like a prohibitionist, where we're running beer over the hills, a 4.5 hour drive to run some beer across the state. But that's part of the fun things I did this weekend. And let's see, I'm going to go through some injuries here. Atlanta, no injuries for them on the carryover from last week. San Diego, nada. Washington, nada. Nope, sorry. Atlanta and Washington, nothing. Jerry says it was a pale ale and a lodgepole light. I'm not too big into the pale ales. I'll do a double, but the regular pale ales, it just gets too hoppy for me, and I'm not into it. I like the stouts. I like, I pretty much like anything, except, some IPAs just get a little too crazy with the hops. I'm not into it. So Chicago, the Cub Chew, Yasiel Puig is going to be out for one more game. I don't remember what his injury was or what I said it was, but he's out for a game +0. The way I do this nomenclature thing, sometimes I get too far into my own head, and you probably can't see this, but it says game +1 game. So sometimes it just trips me up. If I just wrote a game, would it be this game that he's missing? Would it be one more game? So I have to be very specific in the way I write things down, or else I just get in too much of my own. Josh Harris, so we will not write him down. San Francisco, they will be without. No, Tuffy Gozwich will be back next game. Los Angeles, they still are going to be without their shortstop. Johnny Giovatella got, I think it was a 15-game injury or something early in the season, and he was their only shortstop. And so he is out for a game +3 more games. So he's almost back. My picture looks good. All right. Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate that. I made this template a long time ago, and I think I used it once. And I don't know. I've been just into playing the games and haven't really used the face cam very much, so we'll check it out tonight, see if anybody else joins, and if you guys appreciate it or have fun with it. We're just chilling tonight, chatting it up, talking about game day 16, what happened, talking about beer too. Jerry Ball says we have a couple of great breweries here. Where is here, Jerry Ball? So let's see here. Los Angeles was out there. Pittsburgh is without a few people. Pittsburgh is without the catcher, Al Avila. He's going to be out for another 3 games. So game +3 games. Carl Crawford as well. He's out for a game +2 more games. Miami, they've got Joey Votto out. He's only out for 1 more game. The Breloom. No, not Miami. Why did I put that there? Already messing up. I was gonna say I don't remember Miami having Joey Votto. And I was right. That's why I didn't finish writing that. Oh, yeah, Jerry, I'm sorry. I remember you're in Prescott. I don't know why I spaced that out. In my time in Arizona, I went to, what is it called? There's a brewery up there that makes a chili beer. I think it's in northern Arizona. Is Cave Creek? Is that what it's called? Cave Creek Brewery? Is that still a thing? I just remember the chili beer being, I don't know, pretty good. Not a huge chili beer kind of fan, but I can have one or two of those. And of all the chili beers that I've tried, that one is probably the best. So Votto is out for one more game. And then we've got Miami is without Corey Dickerson for 10 more games. That's pretty much going to do it for his season, but in the playoff, the cup, we'll still count injuries. Let's see. Where did I leave off here? Philadelphia, they're without Deoner Navarro. Nope, he's back next game. Metagross, New York Metagross will be without Mitch Moore. No, he's back next game. So we only have those right now. Let me make sure. Puig, Harrison's back. Gozwich is back. Darnold, okay, Travis Darnold for Cincinnati. He's out for 6 more games. And let's see. So Travis Darnold is out 6 more games. And so Arizona, they have a few guys got it as well. So now is when I go through my book of, this is the book of scores. So every game that I've played, and I don't know how well you can see this, every game that I have played, I have their scorecard in this book. And so each game day, I have it separated by a piece of paper, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it if I'll find one here. So everything before that is game day 15, and that's game day 16. And so I'll go through here and see if I mark down any injuries on these columns, and then add them to the probables sheet. So I'm going to do that now. Is there anything that stands out on the standings page? While I have it up there, let's take a look. Milwaukee and Texas right now would be in the championship series, as I'm calling it. Milwaukee's got a 1-game lead on Pittsburgh. Texas has a 2-game lead over Boston, Seattle, and Toronto. I had 2.5-game lead on Baltimore, who was idle in game day 16. So Texas has cleared a little bit of space between them. In game day 15, it was a 1-game lead, but both Boston and Seattle lost. Toronto, they won, so they're still at 2 games. But Texas feeling pretty good. They've got a 2-game lead in the AL. Milwaukee, on the other hand, they beat Pittsburgh in game day 15, was it? Yeah, 15. And then they leapfrogged Pittsburgh by winning again in game day 16. So they have only lost 3 times. They are the number 1 seed in all of the RNGIDP's randomized NUS league. So Milwaukee is firing on all cylinders right now. And so let's see here. Let's go through the NL real quick and try and figure out some of these injuries. So let's go. Start of game day 16 was right here. Jerry, you like my game log book? Yeah, when I first started this project, I thought I might as well buy the biggest 3-ring binder I can find, because this is going to be a lot of sheets of paper. As I'm about halfway through with this, I don't think this is going to be enough room for all the sheets of paper I'm going to accumulate. And then I don't really know what to do after I finish with this book. Do I keep it? Do I put it on a shelf, and someday when I'm dead, my kids will have to look through it and say, "What in the heck was Dad doing?" and then throw it away? I don't know if they'll appreciate it or if I'll keep it that long, but I don't know. It's a part of history. It's taken me, or it will have taken me, probably 2 years to finish this thing. So I dropped my pen cap. I don't know. What do you guys think? What should I do with this once I finish the league? Should I keep this book and just keep it for my own records? Cincinnati's going to have another injury as Neil Walker was injured as well. If you remember that game, Cincinnati and San Diego, Neil Walker got hit by a pitch in the first inning. So, not them. Neil Walker, he is out for a game plus. Oh, he's only out for one game. Andres Blanco will probably get the start for him. Any other injuries? Let's see. Phil Gosselin for Philadelphia. I forgot about him. He's going to be out for a while. A game plus 6 more games after that. And let's see, Milwaukee. They've been pretty injury-free, but Justin Upton got hurt, and so did Yunel Escobar. No, Eduardo Escobar, the shortstop. But Upton is going to be back next game. And Milwaukee is going to be without Escobar for a few games here. Let's see. Plus 5 games. And San Francisco, did they have any injuries from last week? No, they'll be good. Jerry says you got to keep the logbook. He says, I keep game log books on all his TTBB league play as well. Yeah, I probably will. I just wonder how many moves, or if it's going to collect dust, if I'll ever look at it again. It would be very hard for me to part with it, that's for sure. All right, so now let's look at the AL, any injuries we got there. And once this is done, I'm going to scan it. And I'll post it on the, maybe I'll post it here and do that wall after I do this. We'll see if we can do some technology while I'm on the air here and show you the actual game day probable sheet. I don't know. We'll see if I can do it. Boston, they are going to be without Paulo Orlando for one more game. He is out a game plus 0. The next injury is Detroit. Detroit is going to be without Maikel Franco for a game plus 3 more. I got quite a bit of response on that little quick update I did for the just telling you guys I wasn't going to play a game. Showing you my board game I was playing at the time with my friend Don. This whole YouTube thing is kind of crazy to me. I'm not in it for the views. I'm in it because I like to play these games, and I like the little community we have here, and I like having Jerry and Al and all the rest of you guys checking in every night and in the chat, and Tabletop Earl. All you guys, you make it fun when you show up to the chat, and we just have fun. We roll a game, we chat about what's happening. So I don't even really look at the views. But I did want to see, after that update I did, that little quick video, if that would make any difference in views or how that would be received, because it wasn't baseball, and it was something completely different than my channel has done. And so I checked it, and it's got quite a few views, a lot of likes, a lot of comments, and it's just crazy to me that, I don't know, maybe because it's a short video, people are just more inclined to click play and sit through a 2-minute video of me rambling about some game they've never heard of. And I think there's some of the, somewhat that, because these are randomized rosters, there's not a lot of buy-in if you're going to start this. It's hard to jump into a randomized. What am I trying to say? It's hard to jump in to a randomized teams, because you've got attachment to the teams as you know them, and there's no real history or bias, I should say, for randomized teams. So I can see why people, you know, wouldn't buy into my channel, because that's all I'm doing right now. That's all I'm playing is this randomized league. At some point when this is over, and that's going to be a long time, I may branch out and do some other things, but as a parent of young kids, I keep saying I don't have a whole lot of time to be able to do this stuff. So when I do play, it's like one game a night. So it took me a while to set this up, and it's going to take me a while to keep it going. So I can understand how somebody wouldn't jump in, but I'm not worried about it. I liked that you guys were into the board game, and that's something that I'm really into as well. I play board games all the time with my kids, and my friends come over on the weekends, and we'll play board games and have a beer and all that stuff. So we were excited about Dice Throne, and that game is so fun. And now he wants to start a YouTube channel where he plays Dice Throne, and he wants me to be a part of it as well. So if that does happen, I'll let you guys know, because there's some of you that may be interested in that. Jerry, thank you for the kind words. You say you're doing it right. Got to have fun. My channel is awesome fun. So thank you very much, Jerry. You are definitely a friend of the channel, and I appreciate you being here throughout it. All right, let me get back to these injuries, or else this video is going to take forever. Detroit, they've got Miguel Franco. Houston is without. No, Dan Herring comes back. Kansas City, they need all the help they can get, but Delino DeShields will be out for one more game. He's not a great card, but he adds a lot of variability to their bench. He's like the only right-handed bat off that bench. And he's got lots of speed, so he can pinch run as well. Not that it's helped, as Kansas City is terrible. Look at that. They're, what, 2-13? Suarez for Los Angeles is back, and that helps that lineup. Minnesota, they're still going to be without Brock Holt for another 4 games. And Baltimore, I got theirs down. Texas, did they have any injuries? No. So I'm going to go through the AL ones quickly. Jerry said the board game video looked cool. Oh, well, thank you. Texas, they did have a couple injuries. So let me mark that down. And because Texas is going to be off in game day 17, I'm going to get game day 18's probable sheet, which I have all the pitchers filled out, but I'm going to add their injuries here just so I don't forget to do it. Texas is going to be without Dietrich, for a game plus 1 game. And they'll be without Matt Holliday. Holliday, I forgot about him. He got injured. And he's going to be out for quite a while. A game plus 9 more. He's a big bat off the bench for them. And yes, I do have, so these I've printed out, and I have a folder that I have all the, I'm trying to be organized with this thing. So I have all the previous game days on this side that have come and gone. And on this side, I have all the ones that are coming up. And as you can see, every 5 game days, I go through and I set the pitchers. I only do it for 5 days out. If there's any pitcher injuries, I want to be able to adjust for that and without having to white out. So I probably could go through and do all of them, because pitcher injuries don't happen very often. But I'm doing it this way every 5 game days, so I can revisit and then set the pitching rotations accordingly. And so we will go through the book, continue here. Texas had some injuries. Anybody else? What do you think? Actually, you know what? Let me switch this while I'm doing this. I'll let you look at some stats here real quick. Let's take a look at batting leaders for the Alola League. How about that? You can check that out right now and see how that treats you. So when it has a repeated name, and I know I've explained this before, but I'll do it again because people are new here. My statistics, Excel spreadsheets, they update themselves. So this front page that I have showing you right here, all the names, all the teams, and all the numbers, they all input themselves after I go after the game. I have another spreadsheet that's you can see at the bottom there. Each individual team has their team stats. So I input them after every game, the team on the team page, what they did, if they were like 1 for 4, if they had a home run, that kind of stuff. And then from there, Excel, I have programmed it to update this leaderboard type thing. It was really like I didn't need to do that, but I wanted just for my own sake to say, look, here's the leaders of all the different categories, just to have a quick reference that when I'm broadcasting a game, I print that page out and I post it on the wall right behind me so I can quickly reference who's the top 3 in each category for each league. So the problem is, and it's more a me problem because I'm okay at Excel. I'm decent. I've never been like trained professionally to do Excel spreadsheets. So some of these formulas in there are like a mile long, and I could never figure out, and I spent so much time that it was ridiculous, trying to figure out a way in my lists to break ties. And so if you look at the where it says RBI, you've got Matt Carpenter listed twice there. That's because somebody else other than Matt Carpenter has 15 RBI. And the way that Excel's handling that is they just put his name there twice. And I've never been able to figure out how to get around that. And it bothers me. It really bothers me. But I figured, well, as the at-bats get further along and as the teams create some variance in the way they're playing, that there usually probably won't be a lot of duplicates in these batting leaders' statistics. So that's why I haven't really showed this as the season has gone along here, because we're only 16 games deep. So the stats are all jumbled up and bunched up. And it really didn't make sense to show it because everything was the same name, the whole list, all the way down. So now we're starting to get some variability, I think. With 16 games, we're about 2 weeks into the season. As you can see, we've got our batting average leaders. They're all stacked up nicely right there. You don't have anybody repeating. There's a couple categories where they do, like RBI, but, I have a feeling at the end of the season, towards the end of the season, this will be nice and pretty to look at. I don't know. I like having it there now just as a quick reference to say, oh, yeah, Matt Carpenter, I'm not going to pinch hit for him because look at him. He's second, tied for second for RBIs. Jerry says, very organized. I think that accurate record keeping is a must. And he loves the stats. Well, I do too. That's basically why I'm so into Strat-O-Matic, is because I love the stat keeping aspect of it. I like doing these leagues where I'm in control. If I want to have a league where I do promotion and relegation, I can do that. If I want to have a league that I have 2 leagues and we all play each other 2 times and the top 2 teams make it to the championship, well, guess what? That's what I want to do. So I like that I am able to do that. And that's kind of my personality, because in fantasy baseball and fantasy football, fantasy anything, which I play tons of as well, I'm usually the commissioner because I feel like I can make and organize these leagues. I don't know. I hate to boast about it, but I feel like I can organize them very well. If you'll ask my fantasy baseball league participants, which the guy that I was playing board games with, Don, is a part of, if you ask those guys, they'll say I'm a dictator when it comes to being a commish. I always tell them it's not a dictatorship. It's not a democracy. It's a dictatorship. So they've been pushing hard because it's an NL only league. They've been pushing hard for 5 years to add the AL, and it's not going to happen. I tell them every year, it's not going to happen. Stop asking. It's not going to happen. I have to treat them like my kids. No, stop asking. We're not going to a mixed league. It's never going to happen. Maybe when I die, you can take over the league and switch it, but I'll pull your toes. Anyway, let me go through the AL. Continue here. Detroit is without Jason Hayward as well. He's out for 2 more games. I saw over on Facebook that Keith Avalon said that all of the tickets for the Play.con gaming con that he's got coming up here in Denver have sold out. They were free, but you had to register. And I didn't realize that he had capped those at only 36 people. So I got one of the tickets. I just went and signed up and said, it's in Denver, I might as well go. I don't have any play games right now, but Soccer Blast is on my list of games that I need to get. And my decision is, should I get Soccer Blast before Play.con so that I know what I'm doing and I can go and play with everybody, or would it be better for me to wait and then have people that actually know what they're doing teach me how to do it and then show up and these guys will help me along the way? I don't know. I mean, I guess there's benefits to both, but I'm looking forward to being there. And I'm excited because it's in Denver. I'm kind of lucky that Keith is located here as well, and the hotel where it's going to be at is probably 10 minutes from where I work. So I don't feel like I have any excuse but not to be there. So I will be at the Strat.com, or not Strat, excuse me. I'm sorry, Keith. The Play.con, and I'll probably take I'll have my phone, and I'll do some videos from there, and I'll do some maybe I'll even do a live stream from there of people teaching me how to play the game. New York is going to be without their catcher, Mike Zunino. It's probably for the best because he has not been able to hit this season. He's out a game plus 7 games. And the last one didn't have any injuries. So that'll be it for game day 17. And you know what? Let me try this real quick and see if I can't do a little on-air manipulation to get a good look at the probables. I'm going to try and scan this page in my printer as I put my Jerry says he's the commish of his fantasy baseball league too. I feel like being a Strat-O-Matic player and being a I don't know, like in charge of your leagues all the time, like you have some good ideas, and you kind of have that role already built in as to what you like and how you feel like this should go. So excuse me while I read. So it's just kind of, I feel like it's kind of natural that you become the commish. And it's just kind of the role you take. So while I scan this in, let me show you some other stats here. How about the pitcher stats for the AL? How's that look? Does that look all right? Let's scoot this over some more. So here's the pitcher stats, and for pitchers, it's a little bit different because, you know, we're only a few starts in for each of the fantasy for the fantasy pitchers, or excuse me, not for the fantasy pitchers, for the I think each of the number 1 starters has gone 3 starts so far. And it's kind of funny, if you look at the wins category, they're all bunched up, and so are losses. There's a people with 3 wins. There's a bunch of people with 3 losses. But if you look at the wins and Addison Reed of the New York Yankees, that dude has 4 wins at the bullpen. That's crazy, right? 4 wins out of the bullpen for Addison Reed. And I'm doing a little, if you can hear my mouse clicking, I'm sorry, but I'm doing a little bit of manipulation so that you can see. It's coming up here. Where is it? And let's take a look at this. If it'll do it. Ready? Hit the button. There we go. Oh, I forgot to size it. Oh, man. Let me size this real quick. Well, actually, just take a look at this point. So, I don't want to mess that up. So take a look at the probables. This is what the document I was just working off of. I wrote all the injuries on, and these will be the starting pitchers for game day 17. And you'll be able to see this a little bit better once I post this on Twitter as well. So, and I'll link it in the description of all the game day 17 videos as well. But if we look quickly at the KL. Desclafini against Greinke, Wood against Tehran, Nice against Verlander, Waka against Scherzer. That should be a good one. Pittsburgh against Cincinnati. Ventura against Salazar. Keuchel against Walker, and Lynn against Ubaldo Jimenez going for Milwaukee. So that definitely is a lower starter for the Milwaukee Brayloom with Ubaldo Jimenez on the mound. And we'll see. And Al Red Sox fan saying hello. What's up, Al Red Sox fan? Showing people the game day starters for game day 17. In the AL, it's Santana against Tillman, Youngman against Gallardo, Sabathia against Heston, Brett Anderson against Matt Burley, or not Matt Burley, Mark Burley. CJ Wilson against Aaron Harang, Chris Sale against Jose Quintana, and Tanaka versus Syndergaard. So Kansas City, they're going to try and snap their 11-game losing streak against Noah Syndergaard. Good luck with that one. Let me pull this off there because it's bothering me that it's the wrong size. Anyway, let's take a look at the more of the standings here. I'll have you look. I have this page as well. I'm not sure how interesting it is, but these are the team leaders for each team. I've got the team abbreviation on this side, and then the team leader. I pulled those from each team statistics page. I pulled the max from each team, and these are actually to qualify for the batting title to be on the average screen. I actually added that into the Excel sheet too. So this should be a good summary of who's actually doing what on each team. As you can see, Joe Panic for Boston, he's leading the way with a 382 average for Boston. And Panic is the DH for them. If you look at hits, at-bats, everybody, there's not one person that's breaking out as far as that goes, except for Eric Ibar down here with that 441 average. That's pretty crazy. If we go through and look at doubles, you've got some guys over there hitting some doubles. Miguel Cabrera has 8 of them. AJ Pollock has 9. So I don't know. I don't know if this is interesting or not. Home runs, you can see the team leaders. This is Pittsburgh, I believe, with Jung-Ho Kang only has 3, and he is the team leader. That is not good. You can see that the some of these teams have 7 and 8. Not a lot of power on that Pittsburgh team. I also have done that for the pitching stats. So if you look, this is the innings pitched. David Price, he went last night's game, and he's moved to 29 and a third innings. So I don't know. This is just fun for me to to scroll through and check out. I don't know if anybody's actually interested in this stuff, but for me and maybe Jerry and Al, you guys do your own seasons and stuff like that. You find that people are interested in statistics of your leagues, or do they care, or is it just more for your own recollection and the way that you like to play the game and do the stats? I'm finding that I don't know. I just don't know. Earned runs, strikeouts. If you look at Carrasco, he was overtaken for the league lead by Matt Bumgardner with 34 strikeouts. Kershaw is right behind Carrasco, 32. ERA, those have to be qualified as well. I've added that to the team pages. You have to qualify for the ERA and the WHIP title. So there are some pretty low WHIPs. Look at Tanaka with the 0.79, and then Hamill, Kershaw, and Hamels all in the 0.50 WHIP. So that's a quick look. I won't show you the KL. I'll just leave you. I'll go back to the standings here. We'll go back to standings, and we'll leave it there. Just having a good chat tonight. No game. It's already 10. Well, actually, maybe it's only 10:15. Let me see how I can wrap this up, and I might come back with the game tonight. I'm not sure. Al Red Sox fan, Jerry Ball, thanks for being here with me live. I appreciate you checking out the game day recap. If you have any questions after the fact, if you're watching this and really don't know what the heck's going on, you can follow me right there on Twitter at RNGIDP_strat. I've got a lot of information on there. Or just, throw me a comment here. I'd love to be able to chat with you and tell you what's going on. And if you have a specific question about any stats, if you got a favorite player like AJ Pollock and want to know what his stat line is, let me know, and I'll take a screenshot of it or something, or I'll let you know what's going on. I'm open to requests like that. I really don't know what I'm doing here. Just playing a little baseball, having a little fun with some random strangers on the internet. So I'll get my ugly mug off this camera. I know you guys are probably tired of seeing me. And so that'll be the end of this game day recap. Game day 16 is in the books. We've got Milwaukee against Texas. If the season ended today, they would be in the championship series, and the rest would be in the cup bracket, looking to try and salvage their season. So for game day 17, that will get started maybe tonight. I don't know. We'll see. If not, it'll be tomorrow night. Until then, signing off. Have a good night. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.